Welcome, everybody. You ever feel like your life is just too complicated? There's too much family drama going on. You don't know who you love sexually and who you're related to. Sometimes it's both.
Welcome to the attic.
It's VC's Peasies.
Oh, no, you're doing the intro.
I know.
Okay, so start it up, dude.
Hey, here we are, starting it up, dude.
We are so good and professional.
Yeah. And like prepared for everything.
We're prepared. I think to break the fourth wall, the more we think about production and editing, the worse we'll get at it.
Yeah, I can't wait. Thanks for going on this journey with us. And welcome. And welcome. Good morning, good night, good afternoon, wherever you are. This is VC's Pieces podcast. And today we welcome you to our episode on Castile Book 4, Gates of Paradise, which is there's one more book after this, which is a prequel, spoiler alert. So this is the end of like this time period.
You're Tia?
I'm Tia. And you're Katie.
I'm Katie. And here we go. I know that you, dear listener, you're reading along, so you're ready. But if someone just like sent you this podcast, maybe you want to know what's going on in this book. So here's the old back flap. I love a juicy back flap.
Wow. I didn't find that funny until this time right now when you said it. Thank you.
If you emphasize the flap,
yeah,
it definitely sounds like a more vaginal fold.
I always love emphasizing a flap. So
here
flap
we are.
on, my dear.
The car crash that killed Heaven and Logan. Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you. Already, you were so...
You know, that's like 50 pages in.
Right
now
there
I
on the
don't want
flap.
to read the back of the books anymore.
Now we're flapped it.
Yeah.
It's been flapped.
Ugh.
The car crash that killed Heaven and Logan left Annie Castile Stonewall orphaned and crippled. Yikes. Whisked off to Farthy Manor by the possessive Tony Tatterton. Annie pines for her lost family, but especially for Luke, her half-brother. Friend of her childhood, her fantasy prince, her loving confidant. Without the warm glow of Luke's love, she is lost in the shadows of despair. When Annie discovers Troy's cottage hidden in Farthingale's woods, the mystery of her past deepens, and even as she yearns to see Luke again, her hopes and dreams are darkened by the sinister Castile spell. Treacherous, powerful, and evil. All right, yeah, so I realized I never read the rest of that. I just read car crash and went, fucking what?
Yeah.
And you instantly flip open to be like,
where?
First page? Like, what? Second page? First page? So, let me tell y'all. I'll be honest.
Oh my God. Sorry. My cat's up here. We have like a little like special guest, my cat Sparrow. And I love her, but you'll probably hear me like
an annoying asshole right now.
No, she's not.
Oh, I'm sorry. She's being a precious baby.
She's a delicate baby, but she just wants to touch me. And like, for some reason, I'm going through menopause and I'm very hot. And I'm just like, please.
You're like, I love you, but don't fucking touch me.
And she's got sharp hands. So anyways.
So I had a trouble with this book. Mm-hmm. And I was so uncomfortable.
Oh, yeah.
Like, so I remember I started it before you. I was like, I'm jumping in.
You're always dumping in, babe.
From my beehole in my brain. So I would text you like, oh man, like there was a point, and I'll tell you, I noted it when I put it down and could not go back for days.
She would send me like just a cacophony of gifts.
Like, oh no, it was like
burning books and people being like what is happening and like throwing up.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
yeah.
But at the beginning, we're at the beginning, and I was instantly confused for some reason. It was just like, I'm in. So we're in Annie's point of view, Heaven and Logan's little baby child that they had at the end of the last book, And if we want to zip, rewind to the last book, Annie was born, looks instantly like Troy Tatterton with her taper Tatterton digits. Her baby
Tatterton tips.
Her baby tips. Oh. She's a newborn. And if you've seen a newborn, they're all like haunchy and gargoyle-y, but instantly looks like Troy Tatterton. With her tips. Frosted tips.
Nice.
Can we
Let's bring back Sun in.
I thought we were going to go with like an NSYNC kind of like frosted.
No, let's
like
bring back Sun in. Did they still make Sun in? Remember, it was just basically like you just like spray lemon juice on your hair.
And you sit on the sun.
Yeah.
Not on the sun, under the sun.
Like on the surface of the sun. And then it just like, if you have dark hair like we do, it just like makes like an orangey situation.
Not to do a host reveal. We're both brunette.
Oh my God. Check out our OnlyFans.
It's just you fanning yourself going through menopause.
Yeah, it's me fanning myself right now. Hi, I'm going through I'm very
anyway, we have...
I bet there's
this
a market
train
for that.
has not left the station and we are off the rails. Okay.
Love it.
So
I would like to mention, though, first, it's book specific. I noticed near the end of this, faulty fan. Oh, man.
Oh, no.
All right, I'll do my best. Something I noticed, more than probably like 3/4 of the book is that most of this book takes place in a 2-week period. And that's wild to think about.
Yes, I wrote that at some point. I was like, what?
Yeah, like it's been like we're talking hundreds of pages.
Yeah. I'm sorry that happened to you. Use the paper towel from our pizza rolls.
No.
So I also... Yeah, it's fine.
I'll manage.
So we're at the point of view of Annie Castile and her idyllic beautifulness, because Heaven went through some shats, and she wants Annie to have a wonderful life with her forbidden half-brother.
Yep, they're 17 years old when this book opens.
They're cusping. They're on the cusp of adulthood.
I think, yeah. I mean, it's crazy to think about like a 17-year-old being an adult at this point, though. Or even an 18-year-old being an adult. We just know
so much more about brain development, and it continues to develop into your early 20s.
Into your late 20s.
Oh, are we pushing it back?
It's like 27 before your lobes are like fully developed.
Oh my God.
But
your labes.
Your labes develop wicked early. Because it's just like, I don't care if I have a brain, let me procreate. That's what humans are.
Thanks, humans.
So yeah, they're like pretenders. They like
Annie is painter.
Fantasizing.
Annie is painter, and she has that Tatterton artistic genetic.
Which she thinks must be from one of her... Like, she doesn't know where it comes from at this point, though. Annie doesn't.
Annie doesn't. Does she know about... Didn't know that. Did she know about Grandma Jillian? They know a little bit about Heaven. So I think
probably,
like
actually.
a scotch of the real story. Mm-hmm. Like a whisper.
Yeah, she must have known Jillian was an illustrator.
Yeah. Drake's still around. Drake... he is getting his MBA at Harvard.
Very fancy.
And he's
apparently only people go to Harvard.
Yes, that is the
series.
school.
It is the only school in the world, the only college.
He's kind of like that other side of wealth. He's very brusque. He's not like that Heaven type of like, I'm rich as fuck, but I'm gonna give away and still be good.
Yeah, like I'm humble, I'm appreciative, and I want to help other people because I know what
Drake
it's like not to have things.
He's a brusque businessman. He's very like that character. I don't know if you've seen in Futurama, the '80s guy.
No.
Oh, okay, fine. Like a slick back hair kind of '80s guy. Okay. He's an '80s guy. Okay. He's an '80s guy. The implied sexual tension between Annie and Luke, page fucking 1.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like they're secretly in love with each other. Like,
but they are
secretly not secretly in love with each other. They spend all their time together.
So forbidden half brother, because they know they're half siblings, but I think they're not supposed. People aren't supposed to know they know. Is it still secretive that Logan is Luke's father?
No. It's not secretive that Logan's Luke's father.
Okay.
It's 100 secretive that...
No one knows.
No one knows that Troy is really Annie's father.
So yeah, I was very...
Because that shit came out in the fucking...
I was very like, oh fucking K, this is like, until I remembered, I was like, oh wait, they're not related at all. Mm-hmm. So I was very like, okay, fucking incest, again. And with the incest again.
Oh, man, you're not going to like the rest of the 57 books we have to read.
Oh.
It's going to be a theme. It has to be.
It's endemic. It's endemic at this point. Anyway, so secret brother, implied sexual tension, very... Like, they're always, like when you have, like, a little crushy poo on someone and you accidentally, like, brush hands and it, like...
You get the
apparently,
tingles.
in this book, the tingles, in all the books, tingles, is that, like, with your nips or your clit? Who knows?
All the tingles. You don't forget, like, what about the balls? Balls and penises. You got to remember all the body parts.
I'm sorry, I did not mean to be non-inclusive with my sexual tingles.
Fucking
they're childish teens. They are very childish teens, and they go to Imagination Town.
Well, because also this should be like the 80s at this point, too. If we're going to follow the timeline that I figured out a long time ago with Sound of Music and, like, Heaven being born in 1950.
Okay. So they're very they devolve into fantasy where there's like dragon slaying and fucking castles.
I think that's sweet. It's not like they started as like late teens doing this.
All right.
They've just been like pretending and very imaginative since they were little.
I wrote down I'm noping out of these soft warm fingers on page 12. But now that I have a book here, I'm gonna find out on page 12.
Let's all find out together what the soft warm fingers were all about.
I don't like that sentence.
I mean, no, it's not a good sentence. It definitely evokes a feeling that I don't want to feel. Soft warm fingies.
Yeah, I mean, you may have to like fill. Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. So we're talking. They devolve into fantasy. They devolve into fantasy. Often, it seems. So up at the beginning, these are 17-year-old humans. All right, they're taking their AP calculuses, and they are registering to vote soon.
Yep.
May I be the prince? Luke asked quickly and stood up, waiting for you to come. Our eyes seemed to touch, and my heart began to pound as he stepped closer. He took my hand, his fingers soft and warm. Oh, thank you. Right,
I'm just picturing like earthworms. It's just cooked spaghetti.
I don't want your little spaghetti fingers.
I want your cooked spaghetti fingers.
So that's they.
So they're always also like fantasizing about Farthy. Like they're
obsessed.
Well, I think I would be too. Like thinking about like, oh my god, like someone
part of our
that
history.
I know.
Yeah, went to this.
Like there is a fucking legit castle mansion that I haven't been to.
Yeah.
What the hell? Like, if I found that out now, I would start. I mean, I want to fantasize about mansions.
Isn't the only thing that Annie paints Farthingale Manor?
No, she does a lot, though. She like imagines what it's going to be.
She
pretty much has Luke in all of her paintings, though. That's the thing. She paints a freaking lot. Because he's like, I'll model for you.
Heaven comes in, and it's good to know. Whew, she's still firm.
But, like, lovely.
Right. But the point is, she still is attractive.
Oh, yeah, of course.
That's good.
That's that Van Voorheen genes.
It's nice to know also that Fanny's still a whore.
Yeah. Fucking Fanny.
No. They have, Luke and Annie have special gazebo times.
Yeah. I thought that's lovely.
Everything that I find, like...
Whatever, you just don't remember being such a You were such a fanciful child doing pretends.
I guess I'm just...
You were, I was there.
I'm just old and tired. So they have a gazebo at Hasbrook House, and no one ever goes to it. So Annie and Luke go there and pretend.
And like hang out and tell secrets there and stuff.
So we open, and this is the scene that we're setting, and we are on the cusp. We're cusping on Annie's 18th birthday.
Annie and Luke's. They were born on the same day. Remember, call back to episode...
Whatever.
3 of the Castile series, which I hope that you listened to.
So she has her fancy breakfast, and Aunt Fanny shows up wearing a green leather skirt and vest over pink frilly blouse.
What does that mean?
There are so many shades of green and pink, by the way. I picture hunter green and like hot pink.
Same. because that'd be Fanny's vibe, 1,000%. Like, I'm surprised it wasn't like a leather camo skirt and vest.
I feel like that's not Fanny's vibe.
It would be.
So she gets a car for her birthday. Like, they live in the fucking holler.
Yep. I know, because again, like, I just picture this place being like a mile-long stretch of road, and that's it.
If wealth has come due to the Willie's Toy Factory, do we fucking know? Not mentioned.
Yeah, actually,
not at all mentioned.
Shit, they didn't. Like, the prosperity.
It's been 18 years. Has the U.S. Census done anything? Can I get these records?
I am actually...
The median income?
I'm just realizing this right now, and I'm upset that they
no
haven't...
information about Winterow, how it's grown, whether the prospects for these folks are different, same, are there still hill people?
Let's assume that things are a lot better, and there are still hill people, but they're able to live more comfortably now. Because they're being respected for their craft.
Nice. Heaven takes Annie up to give her like a secret gift, and gives her like every teen in Virginia needs is a fuck ton of real diamonds.
Yep.
Okay.
Her the diamond and necklace and earring set that used to be Jillian's.
Yeah. Inappropriate. Inappropriate.
My cat has a piece of confetti hanging off one of her whiskers.
Damn.
It's cute.
Do you remember what Annie gave to Luke for his birthday?
I do, but another thing that Annie got for her 18th birthday from Heaven was the cottage-shaped music box.
The toy cottage replica.
That showed up shortly before or after Annie was born.
Right after.
Yeah,
it was after.
Which Logan just assumed like some...
It was like, oh, someone made.
Yeah, like someone at the factory was like really kind and made, but like 100%. Yeah, 100%. It's Troy's cottage, and there's like little people in there. And
that are Heaven and Troy.
They're totally Heaven and Troy.
I don't really know. Can I get like a 1 to whatever scale as to what this should be?
I'm picturing like the cottage to be like a 1 by 2 foot like footprint.
How big are they? Are they this big or this big?
Yeah, like I'm picturing like that would be the cottage. So like the people would be like maybe 2-3 inches or something. But apparently very detailed. Sparrow.
So birthday times. It's her birthday, and so she gets to the cottage, and it's so special. Heaven will get like a little teary-eyed and be like, "It's fine, it's fine."
Oh, whatever.
Whatever. It's just a fucking thing.
I just don't want to go there.
I miss Heaven as a narrator.
Yeah, I liked her as a narrator a lot.
She was great. Do you know what she got? What Annie got Luke for their birthday?
Yeah, like a
fucking pinky ring.
A gold pinky ring with like
pinky ring.
With like a
who wears pinky rings?
With an obsidian stone.
I think I'm just upset about the idea of pinky rings.
Well, if you remember,
I don't.
Like so far, all the books we've read, like whether it be the Foxworth clan or the Dollingangers or the Castiles, someone's always wearing a pinky ring. Like there's always someone. There's always a man mentioned wearing a pinky ring.
It's like a symbol of a wealthy bit
of some sort. It's also outdated.
Sure,
I feel like that was a thing. Yeah.
I have never seen a man in my life wearing a pinky ring.
I've seen it, not in real life.
Yeah, I'm talking real life.
No.
We do live in a semi-rural state, FYI.
The rural juror state.
I've never seen it.
No, but like, I think they put them on mobsters a lot.
Exactly! I've seen it in Goodfellas.
Yeah.
So,
maybe they're all secretly Italian. Maybe it's an Italian thing.
Is it like in a nod? Like someone has like a cannoli and like...
a pinky ring.
Eats a pinky ring and has a cannoli. Wears a cannoli, eats a pinky ring. So, Drake goes off to...
Wait, what does Luke give Annie?
I don't remember.
He gives her a charm bracelet.
Okay. Yes! I'm so excited that someone remembered.
It was me.
Maybe a beret for being a painter.
And then also he gives her like this like plate. Like he found like a picture of Heaven and Logan during their their wedding reception at Farthy that had the house in the background, and they like took it to someone to
There's literally no reason for them to be obsessed.
Plate.
Oh God,
Dude, I would be obsessed if I knew there was a castle that I hadn't been to that I had
that you could have gone to.
Yes. Like, are you telling me that you wouldn't be obsessed with not going to a castle that was part of your family heritage? Hi, I'm part owner of this castle.
Never go there. Never speak of it.
Yeah, of course they're obsessed.
That's intrigue.
Yeah, it's forbidden information, and what we know about all VC Andrews
I'm in a forbidden castle.
situations is that forbidden things are obsessed over.
Drake
Goes
to Harvard. He parks his car in Harvard Yard.
packs his can have it yet.
And he calls Annie and is like, yo, I drove past Farthingale Manor and it is falling the fuck apart.
Yeah, wow, it's
real fucking shitty.
It is a dump.
It's taking a big old dump on that place. So Farthy's in disrepair.
Yeah, and Annie's like,
Oh.
I kind of really wish
Thanks
you
for
didn't actually check it out. Now
ruining that for me.
I like really wanted to know what it looked like, but now I realize I don't want to know what it looks like. Now that I know it doesn't look like what I thought it looked like.
So there's that's the beginning of like, oh, Farthy's in disrepair. So
we'll find out.
because these are young adults, they got plans after school. Annie's going to Europe. She's taking, I think, a gap year to study. She does the art. She do art.
Yeah, she's gonna go study.
Go study
all the
art. Do some
arts.
paint. Do some paints and shit.
Yeah, which sounds lovely. I think we all need a year off to go study art in Europe.
Luke is very like, he fucking hates his mom because she
He's
sucks
very embarrassed by her.
by her slutatious actions.
Yes.
If I can say that.
Sure. Go ahead.
She's loose in the woman bit.
I love the woman being a body part.
She's loose in the woman. I guess she gets hammed and embarrasses him.
Sorry, but I just really can't wait to like remember that as a thing and use it later. Loosen the woman.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough on Luke's part. Your mom's a fucking
He's just
scuzzball.
like he's cringed at
He
her.
is cringe embodied, and Heaven is like, just be here as much as you want to. I don't fucking care.
Yeah, like, hey, I know that like my
Mom sucks a little
husband
bit.
is your dad,
Did
but-
on your mom.
But also, like, in her mind, she's like, but, like, my husband isn't her dad. So, like, yeah, come on in. Like, we have a whole fucked up situation here.
She's like,
welcome.
Fanny sucks. I know. I've seen.
I'm well aware.
I've versed. Like, fucking live here if you want to. Come over for dinner and breakfast every meal. So I feel like they're doing a walk, and Luke is like, Pouty Town. So just like, he's like, well, I got accepted to Harvard on a full ride, and not on Fanny's watch. She's like, fuck your Beantown. Don't be Beantown rich people.
So rude.
So rude.
He, like, came home to his acceptance letter being shredded on his bedroom floor. Like, she got drunk, read it, and just ripped it up. And that's horrible. I just feel so bad. This poor guy's like, here's my mom.
I took a screenshot. I took a picture of a passage after the college acceptance, because they're talking about their plans, and they're very upset they're going to be separated because they want to fuck so hard.
Because they're very important figures in each other's lives, and they've been together since the day they were born.
And they want to mash parts.
And they have feelings that are very complicated.
Okay. I'll write to you all the time, but I'm sure after the first week you'll have yourself a Beantown girlfriend. How I wanted to tell him that I would always be his girlfriend, but how could I? We were brother and sister, and it seemed as if the whole world stood between us and what we really wanted, for I knew in my heart that he felt some of what I felt, and there was a part of both of us that cried and mourned and wished we could stay together forever and ever.
You know, something I want to mention. I'm really upset that the last book ended with Heaven being sure that Troy was Annie's father, because that's all I felt like. I was just waiting to get to the part where like Annie and Luke found out that they weren't brother and sister.
All right.
And like waited to get to the part where like Annie found out that Troy was
would have
dad.
been a much better kind of like...
I wanted it to still be a mystery for us, the reader,
I was gonna
and
say
you,
tease,
dear
but
listener.
mysteries, right, yeah.
Like that, because you know when we did the prequel for
Yeah, Olivia Town.
Yeah, in the Dollenganger series, like, we didn't, like,
Olivia Town.
Yeah, like, you don't know that, like, Corinne isn't Olivia's child.
That was under wraps for a while.
Yeah. Like, I don't want to know. Like,
that is a fair point.
Yeah, that shouldn't have been, like, it should have ended with
ambiguity.
Like, looking at Annie and just being like,
whoever her father was, they would love it.
Yeah, like, I'm gonna love her, and, like, maybe someday, like, the answer would come out or something. Like, it should have Hannibal Lecter left us shrouded in mystery, because I was just, like, I was impatient to just get to the part where it's like, okay, they're yearning for each other, when are they gonna find out it's okay? Instead of, like...
P.S. spoiler, not for a long fucking time.
Yeah, seriously, like, last sentences of the book or something, like, it was just... But that distracted me, because I was just wanting, like, at some
point, they are just, like, they're breathing inches from each other's lips.
I feel like they're kind of constantly breathing.
And this, by the way, as we read the prequel and to the sequel, there's multiple points where there's, like, breath being felt, and it's like, I spun around. How can you spin around? I'm screaming. If someone you can feel their fucking breath on the back of your neck. You would have elbowed them in the face.
Yeah. You'd smash their nose, it would start bleeding.
So they're breathing inches from each other's lips to kiss, but they run away with their breathy whispers. I have halitosis. I'm not breathing near anyone's lips or nose.
What the fuck is litosis?
Halitosis?
What the fuck is halitosis?
It's like real bad breath. I got a tongue scraper, but it feels weird to do.
You have real bad breath? I've never noticed.
I stay pretty far away.
That's
you want to go kiss later?
Can I smell your mouth? I'm going to smell your mouth real quick. Breathe on me. Come on. No, stop. This is for science. No, it smells fine.
It smells like pizza rolls.
It doesn't even. It's like fine. I don't know who told you this, but they're lying.
My own mouth when I taste it after a cup of coffee.
That's everyone's mouth after a cup of coffee.
Also, Annie has genetic SAD. She goes into these fugue states. I don't know if when this was written, as I grab it to look for the date of publication, did we know about the genetic component of, like, mental illness and chronic depression?
Probably not as scientifically as we do now.
Probably
so
not. Just 1989.
Yeah, so I'm not a freaking historian when it comes to psychology, but I'm assuming that, like, that's just the writer being like,
she has clinical depression, but like, for us, the reader, it's just like the SADs. Like Troy has the SADs.
Yeah, but that would have been great to just think about and not really know.
That would have been a great little teaser.
Okay.
If we hadn't known.
Whatever. You know that we're disappointed. I'm not going to try to, like, hammer it in.
So she goes into, like, these, like, weepy, sad states. Clinical depression.
But it's also kind of sweet. She's like, sometimes I look at a baby bird and I just cry. And I can identify with that because same. Also clinical depression.
If I can say that. Oh my God. I wish we had a sound more.
I do have one. I don't know if I can use it right now, though.
So she has
Can I see if it works?
Genetic SAD. So here we are, 4,000 pages into the book, and we're at Fanny's birthday party. Unless there was anything else you remembered.
I just want to see if this works. No, it doesn't work. Never mind.
From Fanny's... anything before Fanny's birthday party that you want to talk about?
No, not really. I didn't take a whole... Like, my note-taking and, like, recall wasn't as, like, detailed as the last couple of books.
This book did not make that impression on us.
And I think it is because I was just
You weren't that engaged. You weren't engaged.
I was speed reading it to find out, like, the thing I already found out, and I wanted to know when they found it out.
Yeah.
So, anyways, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fanny's 40th birthday party.
Fanny's turning 40.
40 fatty.
So here's what I'm going to say. Already. Okay, so Luke is like apprehensive about this because Fanny fucking parties on a weeknight.
And has so many boyfriends. Mm-hmm. Loads of boyfriends.
She wants to just get, like, hammed and fucked.
Who doesn't?
But also, you have a kid. So be there for them. So it's noted that Logan, like, knocks back a couple before Fanny's party. And this is the first little nugget we have of Logan being anything other than stalwart and having hard cheeks.
And being, like, just, like, there.
Like a rock.
Like, I'm just a dad who's so
just
great.
Just a dad.
Because, like, yeah, he's freaking nervous going there because he didn't want to go to, like, anything, like, Fanny-centric is going to be Buck.
all eyes at this party are on Fanny's titties.
100%. And like, like the Stonewalls aren't really that kind of family. They're low key.
They're okay.
They're like more low key.
Okay,
I wouldn't say
you went
like
with low key.
I would say they are refined, but they're not like we're refined. They're just like, let's just
So
be normal.
let's take a break and think about Fanny's clitoral home. I imagine, again, living in a rural state. Not to mention it, don't stalk us if you want to.
Red house, pink trim.
So no, I'm like
house, red
that's like
trim.
I feel like this is a property we are familiar with. It's on land. Mm-hmm. There's house on land, but it's land. And there's room. You maybe have an acre or half acre, and her home. Notice she put up a stage. There's like there's like rock and rollers playing. So I feel like it's a house on land, like maybe like a couple acres. Let me
I'm not really
revise.
sure. I'm assuming that everyone.
I feel like there's not much. There's houses nearby, but not super nearby.
I just feel like everyone in Winter Row, unless they're like on the main drag, has at least a few acres of land.
Okay.
In my mind of imagining.
So all eyes are on Fanny's titties. She has a band playing. There's fucking drinks. And as soon as they walk in, she's like, "Woo!" And Logan is like, somehow like just into Fanny's gross sexuality.
I thought I was picking up that he was like uncomfortable, but he didn't know.
Oh.
And that's why he got drunk, because he knew that she was gonna like make a scene, because she always like made things uncomfortable. Like
He's
she
like,
always
I'm
mentioned
so
things.
helpless. Like, no, you're not. Set a boundary.
Maybe that's. I mean, this is 18 years after like.
The fuckins?
19 years after, like
The fuckins.
they drank several bottles of wine and did the horizontal mambo.
Phew.
So like, yeah, maybe he's got his own like freaking anxiety about that. He's just like, I just want to be drunk so that way I don't have to really deal with it.
So Fanny like grabs him and it's like, let's fucking dance! And Logan, and so Heaven's like, oh, fucking cool, that's right, let's eat some fucking food. So she's like visibly irritated. And Logan is so like, he's so helpless about it. He's like, oh, she's so crazy. Like, bitch, it literally takes two to tango.
It's true, but it's like, so her and Logan are dancing in like a crowd of all of
He's
Fanny's
like,
boyfriends.
so crazy. I don't
And
know
he's
what's
just,
happening.
well, the thing is, he's just like basically a resident of Hammertown at this point. He's just like, I'm going with it, because I know that she's gonna pull me into ridiculous stuff, so I may as well be drunk, so that way I'm not as embarrassed right now.
What if he wasn't? Why don't you just say, no thanks, and
Yeah, I know.
leave the fucking room?
I don't know.
I'm screaming at Logan and he's not even real.
I think that, I mean,
Because Heaven was so clearly uncomfortable, and she's so cool and low-key.
yeah, she is. She was collected.
All she wanted was to, like, make an appearance,
And
have
get
some
the fuck out
snacks,
of there.
and then get the fuck out.
Yeah.
Same. So she, at one point, there's like a live band of Rocky Roll Towns, and she makes her, like, it's my birthday announcement standing on a trash can.
She's like, I'm 40.
Hold up.
Oh.
Why is she standing on a trash can?
So she can be
Noted.
higher.
Stand on that stage you built.
Right. Oh, yeah. I love that it was like two of her boyfriends flipped over a trash can and helped her up on top of it.
Noted. Fanny is ipso facto like garbage.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
She is on the trash can. So
That's
she
where
makes
she
a trash
belongs
can speech.
at that time.
And is like, it's my birthday. And Heaven's
I
like,
look fucking good.
yeah. These are my titties. So Heaven's like, all right, we're going to go now.
Yeah, Heaven has had enough. And she's
Logan's like,
we gotta go.
He's like, wait, let's stay. Logan wanting to stay is so ridiculously out of character for Logan that I was upset about it.
Yeah, because they talked about him having several drinks before they went there, and then he had like several more. So I'm picturing him like 9-10 drinks in, and we're talking like
Hill drinks.
freaking hill drinks, moonshine, make you blind sort of stuff.
So that happens, and they're arguing.
Arguing about his behavior at the car, and then
Wait.
he's allowed to drive for some reason.
Logan was driving? I thought Heaven was driving.
No, Logan was driving.
Wow. Just my speed read glazed over.
Kathleen.
So way to crash the car and die, Logan. Hope it was worth it. Hope Fanny's titties were worth it.
Wow. So yeah, they're like arguing at the car about like Logan's behavior, and he's like, eh. And then for some reason, it's like, yeah, you're fine to drive, even though we've like been told
We done been told.
for like pages and pages now that you're drunk. And like of course, this like big storm opens up at the same time, and Annie's in the back just being like...
It's not just that he's drunk. There's also a storm.
Also a storm. And Annie's in the back just being like, ooh, my parents are fighting, and like, oh, it's so stressful. And like, and Heaven's like, you're going too fast, you're going too fast. And he's like, ah. And so like, we're just like, okay, if we read the back 1 second
If we read
of the
one
flap,
sentence in on the back flap,
then we know that this is a car accident.
This
Like,
is
oh, it happened
happening.
because Logan was drunk. Nope. Apparently there was just like a truck that was driving on the wrong side of the road, and it was an unavoidable crash.
not only don't drunk drive.
Don't.
That could have just been it. Also with the storm, was it the drunk driving and the storm? Nope. Also a third factor.
Yep.
To absolve anyone of any liability or anything. Oh, I just realized it's because Heaven and Logan have to be innocent victims. Ugh. Oh my god.
Well, then why make him out to be such a monster right before? It was just a bait and switch. And also, we don't find out what happens to that driver. And I felt...
don't care. Wwhy do you care?
I don't know, like they're just
going
going
to
to
jail?
mention... No, I just want like it
Should he
mentioned
be
like...
jailed?
No, I just like, I don't know like if... Because we know Heaven and Logan basically die instantly. And like the last thing Annie hears is Logan, her dad, saying like, Annie.
Well, I hope her titties were worth it, Logan.
Wow. But apparently wasn't... It was no one's fault. Like, truck coming around a corner on the wrong side of the road for some reason.
Maybe they were drunk too.
Yeah, I don't... Like, I was saying, like, what happened to that driver? Did they find out that, like, that person had fallen asleep? I just wanted more, like, information because we've been led to believe, like, leading up to that, it was going to be Logan's fault for being a drunk driver in the rain.
It was Logan's fault for being a drunk driver in the rain. And I feel like Heaven could have, dodged that one. Anyway, so Annie wakes up in the hospital. For some reason, it took me a bit to realize that was Tony that was there at her bedside.
Wow.
I don't know why. Probably because I was like, this fucking book.
She was in a coma for like a day or something.
And he returns. He's instantly creepily stroking Annie's hair.
Yep. He shows up all frazzled.
It begins. Yeah, Tony is in Frazzletown. He is like
Rumpled suit.
Rumpletown.
Rumpled suit, shitty hair.
Yeah, but he is stroking hairs.
100%.
He steals some corpses.
What?
He's like, I know that your mother would have wanted to be in the Tatterton cemetery. She would not have. She was.
I thought you just meant general corpses.
Just in general, she goes around.
I was like, how did I miss that?
I'm just saying, Heaven would have wanted to have had her final resting place in the hills.
100% with like Granny Annie and her mother. Like
that was so tender to her, but she's gonna go into the Farthingale Tatterton cemetery.
Yeah.
Nope. Steal some corpses.
Why the fuck is it called Farthingale, by the way? If it's
the Tatterton,
why is it
don't
Tatterton
know.
Manor?
Maybe we'll find out as we get tangled in the web of dreams.
Remember?
So she wakes up and she's like, Tony's there, and he's like, hair, and
and he's like, I'm kind of paralyzed. What's this shit?
I'm lightly
And then
paralyzed.
Tony's just basically like, hello, my God, I love you. Let me take care of you. Come live with Farthy. But first, let's go to a better hospital in Boston.
And Drake is like, no, Heaven would have wanted this because Tony's a businessman.
Because I talked to Tony for like a minute, and now I'm going to have a better future.
100 Heaven would not have wanted you to do that.
No.
Upsetting.
We know this. We know this, dear listener.
So he's like, no, I insist.
So then they go to, like, they just, like, airlift Annie.
She is a private nurse and is very ugly.
Yeah, Miss Broadfield.
She's very ugly.
Horrid. And she is also, like, the linebacker type trope.
Oh, quote, I wondered why a nurse would have such a poor complexion.
What?
People get zits.
God damn it.
So if you're a nurse, you have good skin, or else you're a bad nurse and you're a bad person.
No. And then there's like some bullshit. Like she's at this hospital for like a week, and then like there's some bullshit about her mental and emotional injuries.
Well, so there's like Tony has like dreamy far off hand holding. He'll hold her hand and like get into a fugue state and just be like, oh. So it starts like right the fuck now that Tony
he
like,
shows up creeping.
He's like he be slipping in his brain holes. Yeah, come on, dude. So Drake is like, you don't seem happy. You're all paralyzed up. What's up with that? The fuck?
And
So
she's like,
it's-
I'm gonna miss my graduation. My parents are dead. Like
sidebar, my parents are dead.
Like that was the first one. Then graduation, and then Luke was gonna be the valedictorian. Is gonna do a speech.
She's
I'm gonna miss that.
hospital. She has her private nurse like on guard at all times to not like on guard for her to not be upset, while also being a very upsetting person.
100%.
She's very stingy with the magazines. It is noted.
She's brusque.
She's brusque and stingy. She is such a fucking weird detail. I couldn't handle it. Other nurses and the nice volunteers would come be like, oh, you got the newest fucking People magazine?
Yeah.
She would like, note.
Yeah.
Took it.
Make a list.
She would have her little library so that we know she's ugly and we hate her. So, bad person.
Weird.
Stingy with the magazines. Tony is like, I brought you some silken nightgowns.
Yeah.
And this jasmine perfume was laying about.
Yeah, you should probably wear this.
It's fine. It's good. It'll make you feel pretty.
They smell like other people that I also wanted to have diddles with.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Fanny rolls up and is loud and loud and loud.
But like also like legitimately like they know they note that like she's kind of like her mood is different even though she's still like boisterous and Fanny like she's also like legitimately shook about this stuff.
But Fanny knows about Tony and Lee, correct? Yeah. She
knows that Tony was Lee's father.
And she's going on about like...
No, wait. Oh. She knows that Tony was Heaven's father because of the Lee Humpins. Yeah.
Lee Humpins. She kind of goes into this like, she's like, you know what? I think I need to move into your house. Who gives a fuck? Like, there's a lot of her being like, I think I need to do this. Is it okay? Like, but if she's 18, ownership of all the probate goes to her.
Yeah, I think honestly, Fanny, like...
She stepped immediately up.
Yeah, like she like got fucking checked at this and she was like, holy shit, like, yeah, like I was never cool to my sister because I was jealous and like life is too short. Like this was an amazing person that got wiped out and like Annie, I just want to go stay at your house to make sure that like it's going to be comfortable for you to come home in. Like I want to watch over things.
But she like is like, I think that Heaven would have wanted that. Do you think that? But like my kind of point was like, well, legally speaking, everything goes to Annie. Yeah. She's 18, so like.
Yeah, I don't think Fanny was saying like she would want me to have the house, but like she would want me to be there for you because I'm like your last surviving family member. And like shit, like I fucked up for a long time and I wasn't cool. Like let me try to do better. Which was
Annie
lovely.
is very upset about not being there for Luke's valedictorian speech and drowns in her feelings.
Yeah, so she gets called
She's trying to talk to Luke by phone.
Yeah, Luke calls her, whatever. She talks to Luke on the phone.
As they say.
And Luke reads his speech, which has to do with, like, acknowledging in public.
He publicly acknowledges
that Logan was his father.
Even though everyone fucking knows it.
Yeah, but it was, like, hush-hush, and he was like, whatever. Like, I'm proud. He was a good dude. Yeah.
Fine.
And, but then she gets upset, and then fucking Mrs. Broadfield is like, no more phone for you. You have emotional and mental problems, and that's why you can't heal correctly. Like, oh, yeah, you have, like, physical problems.
But also mental problems.
It's your brain.
And also, Troy, I'm screaming now, Troy was having, like, secret doctor meetings.
Tony
was having secret doctor meetings. She's a legal adult. Mm-hmm. So this is... Like, if you aren't already cringing, this is, like, where my, like, skin was starting to, like I'm grabbing my shoulders right. Like, I was starting to crawl. Because, why is the doctor having secret chit-chats with Tony?
Because he's fucking rich. Because he's a rich white man. That's why.
She's a legal adult, and this is her own care. Like, there should be no there should be no secret chitter-chats.
Not at all.
So she drowns in her feelings. Again, this kind of like soap opera nod to like genetics with regard to mental health. Mm-hmm. So she has genetic SAD, and it's like a soap opera style, like nature versus nurture, even though she was brought up completely different because she has Troy's SAD genetics. Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Which, you know what? mental health issues can come out of nowhere.
So the doctor comes in and he's like, all right, no feelings allowed.
Yeah, like we're just going to keep you sedated and chilled out. And then at the end of the week, you can go to Farthy. And then Tony's like, here, I bought you this, like, wicked nice wheelchair. It's like a leather settee.
And I hate the jasmine perfume stuff so much.
Yeah, seriously. I also just, like, don't really enjoy that smell. Oh, okay. So I'm like, well, I don't like jasmine tea. I don't know if I've ever smelled a jasmine perfume.
So it's like that gross kind of, like, gross pedophilic kind of predatoriness. But also jasmine, you don't like the smell. Okay.
I know, so I'm just like, I'm really like... I, like, read and my nose is inundated with, like, a phantom smell of...
So Troy's like, we're going to take you to Farthy. Tony says, we're going to take you to Farthy. I got, like, a big fucking house, and you're going to recuperate, and I'm going to spend money on you. Maybe molest you later.
And also, Farthy's amazing.
Yeah,
it's so opulent. It's awesome.
So, and then he's like, here... take this dressing gown. It was one of Heaven's favorites. La 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 la. Yeah. Twinning. You guys are like twinning. And they embrace, and she's like, I thought that Tony wouldn't let me go. Big ol' honkin'. It's like that. There's a Twitter account. It's like the racist dog, and it like retweets things that are racist, and it's like woof woof woof. So that was me. It was like, it's like for creepy incest tinge stuff. It's like woof, 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 woof.
I could say woof anytime that I'm uncomfortable.
Incest adjacent, like woof, heckin' woof. Like Tony helping her out of the car, but holding her, quote unquote, like a bride.
Yeah. And like it's noted that other people are like,
what are you doing?
Watching. And they're like, you gonna put her in the wheelchair? And he was like, oh, right, okay. Yeah, because Annie was like, why does it feel like I'm about to be carried over a threshold? Like, she doesn't know, but we know.
She doesn't know.
You know, dear listener.
You know. So,
it's a dump. Like, she shows, like, he's just being like, like, oh my God, Farthy.
All the servants, they're the same servants and they're 1,000 years old.
Literally. Except for...
Annie's personal maid, who is young but ugly.
Her name is Millie, and she's described as...
Here, I took a picture of this description.
I wrote it down.
Oh, you wrote it down?
Yep.
Great.
She's described as a rather plain-faced woman with dull brown eyes, a rather round chin, and puffy cheeks. I imagine that because she was cursed with a dumpy body, a small bosom, and hips so wide they made her look like a church bell, she was doomed to be a domestic servant.
Doomed!
The fuck? Why? Like, that's such negative shit that we don't need to know. Like, there's a lot of body shaming in these D.C. Andrew books, and it's just unnecessary. Like, it doesn't do anything for the plot. Like this was a kind, very sweet maid.
I feel like the phrase dumpy comes in quite a bit more than you would think, dear listener.
Yeah, like, what?
Dumpy. One who is taking dumps.
Like, is her just, like, saddlebags are full of shit.
So she looked fucking gross.
Which was so... And also, usually, like, if someone's, like, ugly, they're also a dick. But, like, she was really kind. Like, what?
But she also wasn't long for Farthy. So that's why her character exited pretty quick.
Yeah, so like, what was the point of her?
That's a great question.
Yeah, like Annie was like, "Hey, can you send this letter to Luke?"
I'm going to give it to Mr. Tatterton.
And she's like, "Sure, yeah, I'll like bring it down there." And then the next day they're like, "Oh, we fired her."
By the way, Drake is up Tony's asshole 24/7.
Yep,
24/7 because Tony, in true Tony fashion, is like, "You're going to be such a VP. You're a VP to the max, 80s style," and he's like, "Yeah." He's also so much like Tony, he's now giving questionable kisses. He, like, he'll give Annie, like, a smoocher that, like, brushes her lips. First of all, I don't give hugs and kisses. But second of all...
I disagree, I get the...
I've never given you a kiss on the cheek that brushed your lips.
That's true, and I'm upset about it.
That's so far outside the realm of acceptable behavior.
Yeah, and... a lot, like, a theme of smoochers in the Castile series is, like, someone will do something either with a smoocher or, like, a hand touch.
Jive.
And hand jive, baby. And the whoever is the narrator is like, it lingered longer than I expected. everything's always lingering. Last, like, Dollenganger's all about the lurkin'. Castiel's all about the lingering.
Lurk and linger. The old lurk v. linger question. And then he, like, cajories her up and is like, just take this time. Take this time. And she's like, yes, bring me some Harvard courses. Just dial them up. Bring them to me. So here we are at the point where her nurse is fucking weird. And is
Broadfield?
like, it's like, she has a bath and it's boiling hot.
It's
and
very reminiscent of Heaven's Bath with Kitty.
but she's asked, like, doesn't it feel good? So
Kitty basically just spiked her phone off my coffee table.
I'm going to tell you that this is the point where I tell you. This is the point.
I'm ready.
Where this book is the experience of being gaslit.
Yeah.
Doesn't that feel good? And like your skin, and combined with, so everything that she's like, this kind of fucking hurts, and they're like, it's there. Doesn't it feel good? Don't you feel good? But in her inner monologue, she's like, it was very painful.
Yeah.
But then she's like, I guess it was okay.
Yeah.
And also, everything that Tony does that is creepy, if you've ever felt vulnerable, I hate to say that, if you were assigned female at birth, you may have had an experience where you questioned something.
Whether or not something was okay.
Someone bumped into you in a weird way that was like, oh, was that okay? I must be overreacting. I guess that was okay. Mm-hmm. It's that again and again and again. And she was like, combined with her physically being confined and disabled. So everything was to that max where it's like, he was fucking creepy, but I guess it was okay.
Yeah, like,
I
really did appreciate the fact that he seemed to care about me. Ouch, baby. Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, he cared. He definitely did something that made me feel extremely physically uncomfortable, and I set a clear boundary, and he disregarded it. But it was for my best interest. Like, this is why. I was like, I can't handle this.
Yeah.
So it was, if you wish to know, if you are fortunate enough that you've never experienced this in your life and you wish to know what it's like, you're going to want to read, what are we reading here? Gates of Paradise by V.C. Andrews. If you want to know what being gaslit is like.
It was rough, man.
Bring me some Harvard courses. Troy spotted, because he might just be...
Oh, yeah, but Annie sees, like, a slender figure at the graves, which she can, like, conveniently see from her window.
She can conveniently see the graveyard that we've never known about until this time.
Yeah, because these were also Heaven's rooms. Like, Annie was in Heaven's suite of rooms.
Also,
yeah, and, like, but, I mean, true Tony fashion.
They've been refurbished, but are also dusty.
Her room wasn't.
I don't know, but basically everything is... Picture Farthy from the past, but like falling apart and dusty.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the graveyard that we've never known about is very visible.
Yeah. And Annie's like, who's
she's
this
like,
tall guy?
She's like, can I go to my parents' graves? And they're like, eventually.
Yeah, she's like, I'm really kind of upset that I missed the service. And they're like, we'll have a service specially for you.
She's like, they're my fucking parents and they're fucking dead.
And they're like, but you're...
No emotions allowed.
And emotional problems are why you can't walk. And then she's like, hey, I've been feeling some tingling. And they're like, that's in your head. And then Tony's like, oh my God, yeah, we'll let you go to the gravesite on Friday. Which, like, again, I feel like we as the reader have also been gaslit. Like,
yeah, it's
very confusing.
It's murky, it's misty.
Yeah,
it's filmy. Time is filmy.
Like, she was like, oh, it was forever. But like 2 days after she gets there, they're like, yeah, well, like the doctor's coming tomorrow and he'll let you know if it's okay for you to go to the gravesite, which we'll do like the next day.
So we, the reader, know it's Troy.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just a man. She's like,
because they talk about like a slender man who looked upset, and we're like, well, we know who the slender.
He's always in a blouse. Okay.
Oh, it's a gazelle in a blouse. I'm pretty sure that's too. Trony.
Did you notice they gave rye whiskey an aggressive black scent?
I hated it
so He never in any previous...
No.
Has it been a dooza gaza booza buzzle?
I hated it. It was so fucking unnecessary. Like, he was just a person who haven't talked to before, and then for some reason in this book, it's Song of the South, and I don't... Why? Like, I just feel like I know there's only one writer after V.C. Andrews passed away, but it's like there's like a team of people writing and no one is talking to each other. Like,
it's that big drum that he's just pulling stuff out of.
Yeah, it's
black scent. Okay,
it's a giant bingo tumbler.
With, racist trope. Okay.
Yeah,
it didn't add to the story.
You know, like, if it had already happened, it would have been like, eye roll, okay? Right, but, like, the fact that they added it in the fourth book...
It's a kind of gooza gaza gooza.
Was so stupid! So stupid!
It's noted that Annie is having hysterical pain. Hysterical pain.
What does that mean?
Like, hysterectomy is like... Hyster is like female.
Yeah, so they just mean, like, she's being a lady who's upset that her fucking family died.
She's being dramatic about her paralysis.
Which is not okay, apparently.
Troy is, like, losing it hard.
Tony's
losing it hard. It's been lost.
Tony Tats.
Tony is losing it, but it's been lost already.
Yeah.
He's like, would you like these dresses? They were heaven's dresses.
He was like, I think that you should wear this dress to your parents' memorial. It was your mom's. And she's like, ugh, like... I have dresses, though. I'd rather wear my own. And he's just like, no.
Oh, I think we glossed over the therapeutic rubbins. Her nurse, rubs her hard and is red and sweating after.
I didn't take much from that.
I think that I did because Annie was so like, oh, I didn't like this. And she was so aggro and, like, mean to me about it.
I think she also didn't like it because, like, she could feel some of it, but no one believed her. Okay. But I'm pretty sure that, like a physical therapy sort of situation for someone who's... Because that happened in the last, not prequel, Dollenganger book, also with Geraldine. It's like, that's something you have to, like, work the muscles.
I know, to keep it supple.
Yeah, just to make sure that, like, the muscles don't... Yeah, exactly.
But it was still, like, very, like, she was like, I was not comfortable, and they were telling me, like, this feels great for you.
Yeah. That's fucked up. And then meanwhile, she's like, hey, Tony, like, I feel like shit. Because she tried on the dress, and then she was like, oh my God, I didn't know until I saw myself, like, how much of an actual piece of shit I look like. And then Tony's like, oh, you know what?
I can get
I'm going to get a hairdresser up in here.
Just give me a little trim. She's like, sure, a trim, I guess, would be nice.
And he's like, and you know what? You should dye your hair blonde. Silver blonde. And she's like, and then she's like, but I don't really want to. And he's like, no, but it'd be amazing. And I think it'd be so good. Like, you're not going to feel better unless you feel pretty.
I feel like she says it multiple times. I specifically do not want to dye my hair.
Yep. And then
I acquiesce to this hairdresser, but I specifically do not want to dye my hair.
Yeah, she's like, okay, fine. Like, I give. I think that I will feel better if I get pampered a little bit. And, like,
I give questionable consent to this, sure.
And so then, like, Tony gets, like, this hairdresser named Renee, who, like, they basically just describe as, like, a flamboyant gay man with a fake Parisian accent, which I live for. But when he gets there, he's just like, oh,
so we're dyeing your hair,
all this stuff. And she's like, I wasn't going to dye my hair. And then he's like, oh, no. Mr. Tatterton, he told me other things. I was really prepared to do this. And then she's like, yeah, okay, whatever, fine.
So she gets bullied into dyeing her hair.
Which is messed up. Like, and she's like just feeling like, do I want to be myself, though, when I show up at my parents'. But you know what? I saw this picture of my mom at the stable when she had blonde hair, and then a picture of my grandmother at the stable when she had blonde hair, and, like, you know what?
Sure.
Maybe I will feel more connected with my mother if I dye my hair, because she was my age.
You can't see my face, dear listener, but I'm very upset about this.
She's shaking. She's upset. Yeah, that was... Yeah. She was clear about wanting to, like, have her own identity.
So that happens. Annie's very dramatic about a chairlift being installed, and she's like, what? But then she's like, oh, I guess it was cool. Like, it's like a very dramatic scene, and she does a chairlift down to like a second wheelchair, and she's like, "Oh, that was cool." There was like a lot of dramatics.
Well, I think that kind of also speaks to the fact that she had been gaslit about like things she couldn't do herself. Like it was really weird. They were like, "No, you're not actually feeling feelings in your legs," but then they were like, "No, but you can do this," and she's like, just like, what is the right thing? So she did get herself out of her wheelchair into the chairlift and down, and then Drake was down there being like, "Your first maiden voyage, astronaut Annie."
That's a great Drake voice. I enjoy it.
Thank you.
All through this, by the way, she keeps through her nebulous time at
Yeah,
Farthy,
like at 48 hours.
her 72 years at Farthy. She's like, "Can someone call Luke? I really would like to see him." And they're like, "Oh yeah, sure."
And she's like, Luke needs to be here for this service. Like,
you know,
that is his father too, and like he was close to my mother. Like, he needs to be here.
It's always like someone called him, right? And they're like, "Yeah, we left a message at his dorm. He's in dorm town."
Well, Drake said specifically, like, "Oh, I went to see him," and he was like, his tongue was down some other co-ed's throat, and like, oh, he went off to a picnic this day, and like, I called, but they were already gone. Like, it was just bullshit.
She gave Millie the ugly maid a letter, and she's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna give this to Mr. Tatterton." Spoiler alert: he didn't send that.
Yeah, the next day he's like, "Oh, she's been dismissed." She's like, "What about my letter?" He's like, "What letter?"
She sucks.
She must. I told you that she didn't do a good job. She must have forgotten it.
The nurse's true colors are exposed. Annie goes voyaging out, and she finds Jillian's quarters.
Yeah.
And it's pretty much like described. It's basically never been like really like her creams are everywhere, but
it's like dusted to the gods. Like it's not. Everything's in disarray, but it's also super clean. Like it's been like kept up.
Yeah, Tony
which
definitely
is
goes
crazy.
there.
Yeah. Puts on a nightie, passes out.
The nurse finds her and is like, no one's supposed to come in here. You're fucking crippled. like that was the title of that chapter. Crippled?
It's true.
Right? She was like, you're fucking crippled. And then she's like, Tony, fire this fucking asshole.
Yeah. And he was like,
oh, no, that's not what happened. Oh, no, you know what happens?
What does happen? My notes are already done.
So Annie's like, I fucking hate this nurse, and I hate her so much. And she's like, here's your fucking boiled chicken breast. And she's like, no, give me something rye whiskey makes. I fucking
That's right.
And she is poisoned by fried chicken. She is poisoned by fried fucking chicken.
She's poisoned by mashed potatoes.
It's funnier to say fried chicken.
I know.
She's poisoned by fried chicken, so she's laid up, and she's like, fucking, oh yeah. So she's like
shit. She literally.
So she says to the nurse, she's like, I'm not eating this fucking bland ass shit, and she's like, but you need to, doctors, and she's like, no, I'm not eating this. You bring me something with a fucking flavor in it.
Yeah, she's like, I have eaten other stuff already. Why do I need to have this now?
Can I get some nice tasting food?
Rye needs to make my food.
He may have a black scent, but he can't cook. So the nurse is like, fine, I will bring it to you, but I will not help you if anything happens. And so Annie like fully shits herself.
Yeah, she's like, she shits herself. And then the nurse is like,
I guess I told you that I wasn't going to help you.
Oh, you poor thing. You must be so embarrassed.
You must be embarrassed by your choices.
Fucking not okay. And then she talks to Rye.
She has to beg. She has to beg for help to the bath to clean up, to get a new nightgown.
Mm-hmm. But she talks to Rye, and Rye's like, no, I made it.
It's just my food.
Because the nurse is like, you shouldn't eat this. And she's like, this literally never happened before when I ate this kind of food. Like,
I want to talk to Rye about this.
Yep. And she does end up talking to him, and he's just like, no, but he's like, maybe it was your medicine in the mashed potatoes. And she's like, what are you talking about? He's like, well, I walked by and I saw Miss Broadfield mixing something into the Tates, and she said, that's how you take your medicine. And then Annie's like, oh, okay.
Okay, I never take my medicine that way.
No, I don't.
So she's fired. So she was 100.
Which I was actually surprised that Tony did that, because I was assuming that he had her as part of his gaslighting.
She just was a whole separate bad person.
Yeah, which is
she was not involved.
Man. Yeah, she just happened to also be a shitty gaslighter.
So
lucky for Tony.
So within this 1 second time span, the nurse gets fired, and then Annie's like, Tony, I can stand. And he's like, the fuck you can, and like wings her walker like out the window.
Yeah, he like, she wakes up and like, there's no walker, no wheelchair, she can't get to it.
And he's like, Shashika, have some sedatives.
And then Tony's like,
He like rams sedatives down her throat hole, and he's like, you know what? Had a trying day.
I'm going to, like, I got another nurse coming, don't worry. But until then.
Don't worry, I got another nurse.
I'll be your nurse.
So here's where I walked away. It was page 296, the bath. And I feel so fucking uncomfortable.
So uncomfortable.
Because she's like, please, I'm a grown woman, and this is making me actually uncomfortable. And he's like, it's fine. And his like fingers graze her breast, helping her in the bath. And she's like, I am saying to you multiple times, this is making me uncomfortable, and I'm trying to set a boundary with you. And he's like, you're like swallowing vomit right now.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
Like, my soul is dry heaving right now.
I'm trying to find, what did I say, 296? Page 296. Oh!
No. You can't eat my thing.
Okay.
Sparrow.
Get that fucking cat out of here while I read this page. Okay. Her. So anyway, Tony, I said softly as I could when he returned, I'm a grown woman now and I need my privacy. Boundary.
Yeah. Thank you, Annie. Good job.
Boundary.
Because at this point she started to just be like, I'm going to speak up for myself because this feels fucking weird, everything. No.
You mustn't worry about those things now, he said. And anyway, this is all as the doctor instructed. Well, how would she know? She's just a woman. She has no agency. I didn't know how to reply. He turned off the water in the tub and smiled down at me. Time to go in, he said. Once you're in, I'll let you wash yourself, he offered. I just want to make sure you don't slip and bang yourself against the tub. Making her second guess. Like, oh, shit. All right, you're right. I could actually. That's a medical thing.
Look, I'm just looking out for you.
I mean, trigger warning if you've ever been... Bleh. With great reluctance, I lifted my nightgown over my body. He took it from me and brought his hands under my arms. Inevitably, his fingers touched the sides of my naked breasts. No one but my parents and doctors and nurses had ever seen me naked before, much less touched me. He didn't seem to notice. It was like maybe I imagined it. He didn't seem to notice. I could feel recoiling. He brought his arm under my legs and lifted me in the water, lowering me slowly until the bubbles hid my nudity. I felt terribly helpless, more like an infant than an invalid. Tone, there, he said. See how easy that was? Here, he added, offering me a washcloth. I'll just go out and straighten out the bed while you bathe. About 10 minutes later, he returned. You want me to scrub your back? I'm an expert at that.
Just so you know, that is not the first time he will say that.
So he's basically saying,
the last time.
He says he used to do it to Heaven. Really? I couldn't imagine Mommy permitting him to do so. Oh, an absolute expert, he said, and took the cloth from my hands, positioning himself on the rear of the tub. You have the same smooth, graceful neck, Annie, he said, moving the cloth down my shoulders gently, and the same dainty, feminine shoulders. Shoulders that can tease and torment the strongest men.
Why would you say that?
Why would you say that? I'm just kind of scanning down the page. Moments later, I also felt his breath against me. Nurses don't do that. If you have a nurse that does that, that's wrong.
Yeah, call their boss.
Call their boss.
Call the police.
Call the police.
Just call the police.
I felt his breath against me, and when I gazed in the mirror across from us, I saw that his eyes were closed and he was holding his head as though he were inhaling me. I felt a chill of terror rush through me. Same, girl.
Yeah,
you
literally
in danger.
Also me.
Tony, I said, putting my hand over his. I can finish up now, thank you. What? Oh, yes. This is the point where I was like, I just... It was that she was so fucking clear. Mm-hmm. This is making me uncomfortable. Please leave me alone. Mm-hmm. And he was like, no, like, you would if you hurt yourself. And she's like, oh, shit. I am a cripple.
Okay, cool. Hang around in case I knock my head. And then he's like, but let me
wash your back. Like your dead mother liked. Right. You know what, reader? Maybe you shouldn't read this book.
Dear
Please
listener, don't read this book. Just
Please,
listen to this.
Just listen. Don't read.
Appreciate the fact that we already did it and you don't have to.
Okay, so we're past that. And when we click back in, who shows up? Timothy Brothers.
Oh my fucking god. Well, like at this point, like, did Annie like took her wheelchair?
She was like,
she's like, I'm fucking like I'm
out.
going. I am going. And she went to the
chairlift.
The chairlift, went down, got in a different wheelchair, and just like was like, I'm going to the grave by myself.
Fuck all y'all.
And that's when she was like, oh, it's the man, because she had asked Rye Whiskey like,
Who's
hey,
that groundskeeper guy?
Hey, tell me about the groundskeeper. Who's the one that's like slender? And he was like,
In a blouse. He's blousy and like antelope and like hair down to here maybe. Confirm, dear listener, hair to the ears.
Yep. And Rye Whiskey was like,
Some fucking guy.
Like,
I don't know.
conveniently, all the groundskeepers are short and stocky. So
That's
you
right.
must be wrong. Maybe it's one of them spirits.
It goes giddy Zatarans. Zatarans. Oh no, you're dead at Zatarans.
I'm a corpse.
I forget how he. So she like. I know she's only paralyzed from the waist down temporarily. They have us note. But I imagine her in like a button chair and just like like around and through the maze.
She was
maybe.
wheeling with her arms.
Okay. I like to imagine like an aggressive joystick.
Well, she talked about how she was wheeling with her arms.
Wheeling.
And then she meets the mystery man, and he's like, I'm Timothy Brothers.
I'm so dead. You were like on the ground, can't?
Yeah, I texted Katie with like, you know, like the affect of a text where you like do every other letter like a capital, and I just wrote Timothy Brothers.
And you also sent me like that Seinfeld in the puffy shirt.
Yeah. That's what I figured. Just picture Jerry being like, I'm not okay with this look. But we do know that Antelope Troy embraces it.
He's always in a puffy
his look.
blouse. And he's like, that sounds fucking weird. Maybe you... And he's great to Annie, because also he knows it's like his fucking kid.
He's got thoughts.
He's got thoughts. And he's like... And she's like, yeah, I thought I felt my feeling in my legs coming back, but maybe I was wrong. He's like, no, that sounds fucking cool. Let's do it.
Yeah, he like takes her through the maze to his cottage, or they go...
Maybe. I don't know. They get to the cottage.
They get to the cottage, yeah,
Yeah.
somehow. I don't remember if it was maze way or like outside.
But he's
that's another thing that's weird. Like we learned like the first time that like Heaven went through the maze, that like there's a way to like not have to go through the maze to get to the cottage.
Thank you.
And then never again is that mentioned that you can get to the cottage outside the maze. But then I'm like, but how?
But you could just go around
is
the
it
maze,
the
right?
vortex? Wait, yeah, like
Just go around the maze.
yeah, if like there's an exit, you just go around the perim. Like, why do you have to go through the maze? We literally found out you don't have to.
Go around the perineum of the maze.
Because I thought it was weird that Heaven always went through the fucking maze if it wasn't through the cellars.
At some point, the maze ends. I mean, is it surrounded by like walls? Anyway, so it's basically in contrast to everything Tony is. Troy's like, hey, that you sound like you've gone through some trauma, but like it's really fucking cool. You're getting some feeling back, and make sure you embrace that and go for it. And thumbs up for everything.
And Annie's like instantly comfortable with Troy. Like, she's like, I don't know why, but
I don't know why. He felt very paternal to me.
which again, had we not known, that would have been like, is that
a thing?
Is he your dad? We already fucking knew. Yeah, so like they get to the cottage and Annie's like, this place is so like cozy and nice and I feel relaxed.
And he's like, let's chat. She's like, in my week here. It's only been a fucking week.
Yeah.
It's only been a week that she's been there.
We're like over 2/3 into the book at this point.
We're like, we are apexing.
Yeah.
We're on the downslope of that when you are learning about that in school, when they do the apex. We're on the downslope. Mm-hmm. We're on the downslope of this. So I just have all caps. It has only been a week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Time doesn't make sense in V.C. Andrews novels.
I also wrote legs for some fucking reason.
Because he had long legs?
I don't know.
They were
so-
talking about how like sat in a rocker by the fire with his hands behind his head.
Much like the thing.
But she didn't even like notice at that time, like, which was crazy. But she did notice the cottage was the cottage.
She did.
She did.
In my notes app, I noted, oh no, it's happening. because Tony tries to do a rapins.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, P.S. He does try to do a rapins.
Oh, when she's in the cottage with Troy, by the way, she takes like a couple steps.
Yeah.
And that was amazing.
Contrast.
But then she like gets back and everyone's like pissed. And that's when she doesn't have her wheelchair or walker anymore.
It's like, it's so uncomfortable. Like,
they're like, you wore yourself out. You don't know what you're doing.
They like a dog that just like strokes some sedatives down her throat.
Constantly.
And then she's like, maybe I dreamed that he was standing over my bed fucking jerking off. Mm-hmm. Recoiling. Just recoiling. So then it happens. Also noted the pants of his pajamas were a little baggy. I don't know what that means. Did he have a boner and it went away? There's a rescue, thank Jesus.
Yeah, he totally is just like, oh my God, heaven, oh my God, Lee. And then she's like, stop it.
Hard.
Yeah, 100%.
It's upsetting.
Yeah, and that part is sad when you like lose your mental health, but like also he's been a creeper.
Yeah, he done been a creeper. She meets Troy one time and he's like, this sounds a little fucked up, and why did you dye your hair blonde?
Yeah, like, oh, Tony, uncle.
So to the rescue, he calls Fannel and a ding dong.
Yeah, because the next day after this shit happened,
Luke is there.
Yeah, Annie wakes up and she hears that like
shouting.
Luke is outside trying to come in because she finally got.
So Tony, hold on. Tony tries to do a rapins and she like somehow forces him off. He doesn't do the rapins, thank Jesus. He doesn't do the rapins, but she like forces or like yells in his face or like hits him in the face and is like, stop.
Yeah, and then he was just like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like he like kind of comes back to it and he's like, ugh, and he scuttles off.
He's looking a little guilty crab.
Oh, so I guess it was before she took the stair chair down.
No, it was after because it was after she talked to Troy. Troy called Fanny and Luke.
Yeah, no, but
Looking for it.
No, because I think it was on her way out to like the cemetery. She stopped by Tony's office and used the phone and tried to call Luke.
That's right.
And that was the time that like the message actually got through because someone actually fucking called him.
His hand with great disadvantage. Oh wait, without the full strength of my lower body, I was at a great disadvantage. Tony, stop. His hand moved up my waist to my breast, and he moaned with pleasure. Oh, my Lee, I broke free. Let's see. I was catching him on the forearm and driving his fingers from my bosom. The blow shocked him. Tony, stop. I am Annie, and you are doing a terrible thing you will regret forever. My words finally found their target. Go away, I pleaded. Go away and leave me alone. What? Oh my God, he said to himself. Oh my God. Oh, and he like toddles off. Sorry.
But she had finally called Luke and Luke shows up the next day. And he's like, she hears him outside trying to talk.
She like wheels to the window.
But she doesn't wheel. I think she just like threw herself on the floor because at this point.
She did. They took away everything she could use.
Yep. So she's just like, ugh. And she's trying to scream out the window like, Luke, no, help. And Troy hears that shit. And so then he calls
like, oh, that seems wrong.
Fanny. And he's like, hey.
Something's wrong.
Hey. Because it is noted, like, before he, like, finally was like, all right, yeah, no, I'm Troy, not Timothy Brothers. Because he was like, yes, I knew your mom. Oh, yeah, I remember Fanny. And then she's like...
He was like, I'm Troy's assistant. I'm an assistant. And he's like, all right, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm actually Troy.
So there's a rescue.
Like
Jesus.
Fanny and Luke just bust the fuck in.
Fanny's the fuck in. And Luke is like, she's like, so Annie's like, you gotta take me out of here. And he's like, what's going on? She's like, I don't want to talk about it. And he's like, can you relive your trauma very briefly for me before I take you away? Can you just take her word for it?
Yeah, just get her out and then find out. Like, come on.
So how many rape-ins did he try? Can you discuss them in detail?
Oh, only one? Are you sure it happened? No, but he really wasn't like that. He was like...
But was it for your own good?
Oh my God. Luke did not do that.
No, I know, but still. It was like very much like, can you just like relive your trauma like a little bit? Because I remember he was like, no, tell me exactly. She was like in the bed. And she's like, please get me out of here. And he's like, what? And she's like, I need to get out of here. He's like, tell me explicitly and in great detail what's happening. And I was like, that's just re-traumatization.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Which we didn't really know about in 1989.
We didn't know about the effects of trauma in the brain. So,
but like hell yeah, Fanny, and like it had also been noted that like I think
she
like
reads books now.
Like Drake had been by and like Fanny was in the gazebo like reading poetry or something, and just like she was really like, hey, I've kind of toned the fuck down because I've realized that like life is real and this was whack.
So she goes back to Hasbrook House, and she and Luke have this like very public incestuous eye gazing. I'm gazing right now, you can't see.
And that's when she finds out too that like he didn't have a girlfriend, like Drake said.
Yeah.
He never got like
any messages, any letters,
any letters. Like the only time he knew that she called was when she actually called him. And then like
she's like
the mystery man called a friend.
Like, yeah, she was like, "Wheel me to the hairdresser."
Yeah, like let's get this shit fucking fixed.
And
I can't believe
la
it.
la, they give her a French braid.
I know, I thought that was really funny.
And a French braid. A French braid.
So 80s of them to be like, this is
Fans Town. Fancy Fans. And he was like, oh la la, French braid.
Oh, you look so good with your natural color and your
French braid. Drake comes in with the SLUT word.
He does.
He does. And he's like, my slut sister Fanny comes in here and hauls you out.
Oh. Yeah, and he's like, no, you don't understand. Things were messed up. And he's like,
Fanny's a slut.
And then she's like, no, but he's like, oh, and why did you take her, like, you shouldn't have taken Annie away from, like, the best medical care, and, like, everything was being good, and everyone loved her. And Annie's like, no, like, I really want to tell you what happened. And Drake's like, bah! And he was like, pisses off.
There is one half of an exposed bosom at some point with them too. I noted that because it made me laugh. Because I in my mind, I know they meant half this way, but I pictured half this way.
Nice.
Like a bisection.
That's what I thought.
One half.
No, that's what I thought. Like, because she's saying
popped
like
a titty out.
Yeah, like her and
There were some titty kisses. There were some warm.
Her
titty
and Luke
kisses.
were like in a bed. Like at this point too, she has like been able to walk. Like she's like recuperating.
She's using her walker.
Yeah, like she's doing a great job because people are actually like letting her get stronger.
Her family doctor.
Yeah, like which is how you recover is like building your strength up again. And so she's flourishing, and like her and Luke are talking in the night, and like her nightie like slips off her shoulder while they're like kissing, and then like there's
a half exposed bosom. And
there's like a breastal.
There's some warm
hump.
titty kisses.
I don't know. Is it a titty kiss or just like a titty
I
grazing?
feel like I wrote that down, but I think that also at some point she notes like,
hey, stop it, Sparrow! No. She's trying to kill our wires for.
we glazed over it. She has like a fantasy about his warm titty kisses, like making her legs come alive.
Oh, but hey, whatever works.
Yes.
And then they're like, "Oh my god, we really can't do this. Gross."
Yeah, and he's like, "I'm just gonna go away forever. Because I'm gonna be a doctor, as has always been talked about."
Yeah, no, doctor wasn't talked about. It was just like, "Hey, you're wicked smart. You're gonna have it."
Because as we've spoken about on many occasions in this series, I'm going to be a doctor. Kind of coming out of left field there with that one. Fanny's like, I understand. And a Fanny quote is, love just gushed out of you and into him. Ooh.
I don't know. She gets it.
So,
but yeah, like Fanny has been like she stepped up. By the way, she's being like a really lovely. But like she's still kind of got she's got her little like grit,
shitty
still.
undertones.
Well, no, she's still got her grit, but she's like,
here's what needs to be done.
Yeah, like it really seems like the death of her sister and Logan like hit her hard, and that she really just wants to improve herself and like be a good person, and like that's.
Like,
in
such a contrast, like at Farthingale Manor, they're like, send all the meals up, do everything. Fanny's like, if you can make it downstairs, we can have dinner at the table, if it's not too much for you to see the spots where your parents were. And she was like, I want to get back into it. She's like, well, then we'll work towards that goal.
Yeah, which
you
was
set
amazing.
your goal. Yeah.
I haven't, that was my favorite thing, actually, about this book, was Fanny's redemption.
Goals. Yeah, her redemptive arc.
It's true though, like because you really didn't think that was going to happen at all, and like, when she busted into the hospital room, just being like, I'm gonna do this and that. And you're like, oh, okay, Fanny.
just
Like,
Fanny.
it's gonna be a fucking flop house over at Hasbrook House.
Like a floppy clit house.
But like, it just like, nope, no more crazy boyfriends. Like, she just was just like, I need
all
to
of her
improve my
titties
life.
are on lockdown. All of them.
And she just talked about like, I should have been a better sister to your mom. I was jealous, and like, I took her being better as like something that like was
against
her
me.
fault,
Yeah.
and like, I didn't try to be a good sister, and like that was lovely for me.
That's lovely. Yeah, and she was like, you set your goals, whatever you want to do, we'll work towards.
Yeah, I love Fanny's redemptive arc was one of my favorite things actually I've read in all the 10 books that we've read so far.
So things are happening, and she's like, well, I guess I'm not going to go to Europe right now. I'm just going to float around the house. And she finally goes to her parents' bedroom and notes that her mother's slippers were yearning for feet.
Weird.
Which was...
There's always crimson slippers tucked under her bed. It's true.
Ring,
I believe
ring.
Jillian had crimson slippers tucked
Ring,
under her bed.
ring. Who's on the phone? Tony's dead.
Hey, yeah. So she
Ring,
gets
ring.
Someone's like, "Hey, Miss Annie, you got a call. It's from Tatterton House," and she's like, "I don't fucking or Farthingale, no." And
It's
she's
from
like,
that
"I
guy,
don't
Tatterton
want to
House.
talk to Tony." And they're like, "No, he said that he asked for
Is
you,
it,
and it's
is it
not
Timothy
Tony."
Brothers?
And so she gets on the phone, and it's
Timothy
Troy, and he's like,
Brothers.
"Hey, I thought you might want to go to the
Just to let you know this happened.
might want to go to this funeral." And she was like, "What?" And yeah, it's because Tony just like fucking just decrepit out of life.
He decrepit out, and they shoehorned Drake in there as an heir. He's going to be the head of Tatterton Toys.
Cool.
Because he was a businessman. No blood relation at all.
Yeah, it's really weird. Like the stuff with Drake, like it gets mentioned, but it's still like way in the background, and like we don't get enough like substance to understand.
He's just
like,
businessman, business Troy. I'm
Yeah.
business, business, business.
but it was business. No, business.
I
Tony.
can't. I can't handle the N.
Because last book, like we did see like that growing between Tony and Logan, but in this one, it's just like total, like not even the back seat, but like the back of a bus seat where we like get to know. But
He's
we don't
like
really
tied
know
to
like
the back of a bus.
we don't really know like why or how.
Because Drake is like that 80s businessman where he's going to get ahead and da-da-da-da-da.
Like from American Psycho.
From American Psycho. So he's just the heir of Tatterton's now.
Yeah, he's like, I got this
Alright.
shit. Like, whatever. Because, like, obviously Annie's like, I don't need to go the fuck back to this
I mean,
decrepit
I
piece
guess
of
if we're
shit.
being kind, it's because he had the interest and no one else did. And he was like kind of in the family, whatever.
Whatever.
And then they are, maybe we have a happy ending for once where Troy's like, you guys aren't related.
Yeah, it's amazing. So, like, they show up, like, yeah, Annie's like, I do want to go to this funeral.
closure.
Luke, will you come with me? And he's like, are you sure you want to do this? And she's like, yeah, I need to see this motherfucker buried in the ground. Like, let's go. So they go, and then,
Troy's like, let's have
Troy's
some
like,
time.
hey.
Let's make some sandwiches.
yeah, like, let's go have some of my famous sandwiches in the cottage. And so they follow Troy to the cottage. I don't know how they get there. Do they go through the maze or go around the maze? No one says.
We don't know.
And so they're there, and Troy's like, oh, wait, shit. Before that, Annie looks in the music box finally when she gets home, and she finds there's like an open doorway to a staircase to the
Which we
cellar
know.
in the cabin, the
In
cottage.
the model cottage, there's the cabin that went on the doorway that went into the passageways.
Yeah, the
to
basement one.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh my God, I
There's
see a
note.
piece of paper. Let
And
me
it's
get
that
some
note.
tweezies.
And it's that note.
It's the note that
Troy wrote when he killed Jillian.
No, he didn't kill Jillian.
When he stroked her out. Wait,
But
what?
that's the first time that, like, Annie knew that
She was like, wait, what?
that Troy and Heaven, like, had an affair.
Had done a sex.
And, like, that they had been in love. And she was like, oh. So
They had mashed groins.
And so when they get to the cabin and, like, she realizes, like, once she's in there with Troy and, like, she sees Troy again with his hands, like, behind his head.
In
And
that
she's like,
same position.
and
She
then
was
she's like, oh my
wait
God.
a
And then
minute.
she's like, hey, because maybe he says, like, something like, oh, you don't know. She's like, I do know. And he's like, what do you mean you know? And she's like, well, I know that, like, you and my mother, like, had this
a
romance
affair,
and it
yeah.
was beautiful. And then he's like, yeah, but also, like, looking at you now, there's no doubt that
You have
you're my
those
daughter.
taper Tatterton tappers.
And I see that you and Luke are in love with each other.
I just want to let you know. You're
And forbidden love sucks, but guess what? Your love is not forbidden.
love.
And then that was the end.
I just wrote a happy ending for once, question mark?
Yeah, it was.
And Troy's like, you know what? I have clinical depression, but like maybe I can be happy if you guys want to like hang out sometimes.
Yeah.
Just call me sometimes, I guess.
I loved that. He's like, I'm not really good at getting out of the cabin, but
Just give me a ring, I'll try for you. Because
But,
you're
like,
my child, I guess?
he's like, you're amazing. Like, you're so talented. You're beautiful and like such a kind
as
soul.
long
like
as
your
long as
mom.
she was beautiful.
Oh, shut up. But like, he really recognized like the things that are positive, like the good things that the qualities heaven had. He was like, this is amazing, and I'm clearly your dad. Like, I've seen your artwork. I've seen your tapered tips. Like,
Let's try together.
and it was great too because Annie, like, it didn't make Logan any less her father. It's like she actually gained more family. Like this.
That's why it was like
this is a good one, yeah.
question mark? Are we at a happy ending?
Yeah, it was a happy ending because she knew that her and Luke could like actually just like be actually in love with each other, and then it wasn't forbidden. Like, oh my god, it actually was.
We're not doing an incest.
It was literally meant to be in like not a creepy way, like from the beginning.
So we're gonna shit on all that happiness in the Web of Dreams.
Yeah, stay tuned.
Sorry, but if you can get through. If you can get through that feeling of wanting to peel your own skin off yourself with that Tatterton like breath on your side titty,
I'm glad Tony finally was able to find peace. Oh. Yeah, because like clearly he was a troubled fucking dude.
Can people ever just be like shitty?
They can, for sure.
Trouble dude.
But what I'm saying is, like, I do think there were some moments where he was, like, legitimately kind of, like, aghast at himself. Like, oh, fuck, I'm a creep. But it doesn't go into that enough for us to feel like...
Okay.
Like,
we're looking for it.
Yeah,
we're
like...
looking for it.
Like, you do see, like, even in the last book when he tried to, like, hump all up on Heaven, and then he realized, like, oh shit, you're not your mom that I raped. Like,
you're not that child I raped. You're someone else.
He was like, fuck, and like skinked away.
I like the
I'm backwards.
It's like backwards T-Rex hand.
I was backwards Nostradamusing. No.
Okay. What?
Nosferatuing. Out the window.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that he doesn't have to be tormented by his fucking fucked up, keep getting worse brain, and then no one has to be like subjected to it anymore.
Raped.
That's great. And like amazing, on the day of a funeral you find out like, hey, this dude that rescued you is actually your dad, and he's super cool, and not only do you still have a dad, but that means that your half brother really isn't your half brother. And you can just be in love with him.
It's so discombobulating to have like a maybe happy ending.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do with ourselves.
I am doing this to myself. Huh.
I don't.
So next episode we'll be going into...
We're into the web.
Into the web. Gates of Webs. The web.
The web of the web.
We are going to be going into the Web of Dreams, which is a prequel. And it is told by the point of view of Lee Van Voreen.
Lee Van Voreen.
And what it was like moving into Farthingale.
Farthingale Manor.
So it will be join us next time for that. Meanwhile, you can email us at vcspiecespodcast.com with any questions, comments, or concerns. And also, we just set up an Instagram recently. You can follow us at VC's Pieces Podcast. Please do. Share with your friends. Tell your mom.
Tell your mom, your brother.
Tell your ugly maid and your shitty nurse.
Oh, anyone who is ugly or attractive, if they have a bad complexion or look like a linebacker, maybe they have a chin hair, they can know too.
Yep. But mostly we're looking for like peaches and cream.
Yeah, if we can have like a good ratio.
We only want beautiful followers. No, you're all beautiful, dear listener.
Sure you are. Okay, I love you. Bye.
I love you also. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to VC's Pieces Podcast. We hope you enjoyed it.
Technical support was provided by Boo and Matt. Thanks for answering all of my stupid questions.
Music is Dust on My Attic by Broke MC, used under Creative Commons license.
Email us at vcspiecespodcast@gmail.com with your thoughts or comments.
Hey, you can also follow us on Instagram. We are at VC's Pieces Podcast.
New episodes are released every other Friday to give you time to read along. In the meantime, sell your family, touch your Tatterton toy, and try to scrub off the filth of being Hillscum.